Oh yeah, welcome back to it. 107.7 FM. In the house. The man himself, the pleasurable Python. You can call him the Iceman. I know some people call him still the original Star Child, right? So you know how far back he goes. And a brother this morning described him as the lyrical instigator, radio pioneer right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, Mr. Rennie Bishop. Welcome to it.
My brother, it's good to be here. Nice to be with you.
All right.
What's up, bro?
I am fine. Good to have you here, man.
It's good to be here. I think this trip, I've enjoyed this trip more than any other. And meeting so many DJs who just rock in the box. I go ahead, brother. It's all right.
Of course. All right. What you been up to since leaving Trinidad and Tobago? I knew you left many years ago. What have you been up to?
A number of things. I spent a long time doing IT at AT&T. Spent a long time as music director and program director of WRL in New York. I right now do operations manager for about 14 of our stations and that sort of thing. I got across to the administrative side of things. That's after spending 10 years doing talk radio, because talk radio is kind of where my new direction is.
Oh, I realize I've been checking it out on the internet, but we'll get back to that in just a little bit. So, you mentioned a while ago it's always good to be here in Trinidad and Tobago. What you always miss the most?
I think I don't miss anything. Let's just be straight about that. I don't miss anything because I believe that wherever you go is a step from whence you came. So everything prepares you for the next step. And as I said, we had this conversation earlier. Foreign based, my buddy is here with me. And one of the things we talked about coming down on the flight is that there are no such things as bad moments in life. They are all just inconvenient lessons sometimes. But wherever you land is where you have to enjoy. Living without regret is not just a cliche. Living without regret is a way of embracing what is new. But we're not here to do the philosophy thing. We're here to do a party thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah. What I enjoy about Trinidad, I think, is there is an energy that I like, that I see here. I feel also there are a lot of needs to feed. And if I see, I was talking to your program director just briefly a moment ago, and to me, a program director's job is the most important one in any radio station, because he must know when to put the cap on the rap. He must know when to put the limit. And if he cannot do that, then he is failing in a responsibility. Okay, now enough of that. Let's go back to the
I'm glad you're still spitting the rhymes, though. I'm guessing
if you're going to remain the inspirator and the lyrical manipulator, you've got to know when to let it go. Okay?
Right, this is where he should just take over the shift. You know? I'm guessing a lot of your childhood was spent here in Trinidad. Where did you grow up?
I actually was born in Leventhal. Stayed there for a little while, and then I went to San Juan. And I actually grew up in San Juan. After that, once I got involved in radio business, which was about the age of 7. That's why so many of you guys say you grew up with me. At about the age of 7, I spent a lot of time in Balsain and then in Diego Martin and kind of all over the place.
All right. You know, I wanted to ask you, there's something that always stuck with me over the years. Mm-hmm. I've never gotten a good explanation from anybody. You often refer to Port of Spain as Chocolate City.
Yeah.
What's up with that? All right.
I know this is radio, but tell them I just showed you my pigmentation, brother. You understand? There was a deal in everything we did.
Right.
Trust me. I always say there's a revolution within the revolution. A DJ responsibility is to rhyme and get them to shake their behind. That's fine. But in the middle of all of that, there is a message. And we were always doing messages. And hence the reason when I came back, I said in 3 television interviews so far, there is a revolution and a celebration this time of everybody of the generation. There was a movement going on there. Now, your program director and I, we were smiling a while ago because he remembers, I shan't call the name because they are competition right now, but there was another place that we were creating our space. And at all times, when people are asserting themselves, you've got to understand your role. A DJ is a very easy thing to be if all your body is shaking up. If you understand, however, that you're educating, you're motivating, and you're entertaining. As long as you can understand the role, then you put it together, and then to me, you become a good DJ. And that's why I say some DJs mix and some DJs mix it up. You were mixing a while ago. That's bad, okay?
All right, I tell you what, we're going to jump back into the music just a little bit. Remember, it's all about Generation of Soul. That's happening tonight. We're going to get into some music and come back with Mr. Rennie Bishop again in just a couple minutes time right here at the top of the dial. It is 107.7 FM and this is Soul Train Saturdays.
And I was surprised because a lot of the jocks I talk to now, I'm hearing a new level of awareness. Even some of the questions you ask, like you get in an interview and somebody's going to ask you to rhyme and jive and, how you did this and how you do that. You can do that. But there is a bigger picture when you're doing it.
Oh yeah, for real.
You're forming a lot of minds, and I'm really thankful that there are so many people who followed us in the period who can remember something we said that inspired them. Your question of Chocolate City is a really big question. Now, Laundry knows what I'm talking about. A lot of brothers know what I'm talking about. A lot of people understand that the era we're talking about is when you couldn't see certain people in certain places, or you could see them only doing certain things. There was a revolution going on, and every generation has its revolution. You just have to pick yours where you want to put it.
Rennie, I know you've made the transition, into pretty much into talk radio, and I know you do the parties on occasion, especially for celebrations.
Every 4
like
years.
Oh, okay.
And this one is going to be the last one I'm going to be doing.
All right.
Yeah, I mean that because it takes away a lot of time. I'm no more busy than you are or the other guy is. But once you take a responsibility to do something and you try to go back into something else, it's a different kind of energy. And this takes a certain kind of energy. And sometimes I like to look in the next room and say, oh, I love what they're showing across there, but I'm going to stay here. So this is going to be the last time.
Well, actually, that was going to lead me to my next question. I was going to ask if you still get the same enjoyment out of it as you did, in decades.
I get the enjoyment. I love to see people enjoy themselves. It's almost like a man and his woman or a woman and her man. You get in the situation, it doesn't happen for you if it does not happen for them. Stop looking at me like that, man. Look somewhere else. I mean, no, but seriously, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to the music is always fresh to you when you see people enjoying themselves. I have never entered a party where I play music because I like it. And that's one of the reasons I like bass. This morning we were in another place and Kabuki just joined in and we were all just having fun because that's what it's about. You want to look out there and see people having fun and then you know you've done your job. And please don't spend all your time talking trash.
Of course.
Because a lot of people just do that. And that may be cute, but it does not carry the message. Now, a party DJ can do that. But a DJ on the radio has a responsibility. That's why you are there and the other guy is not.
That's right.
And if you're there, you learn your craft, you understand your responsibility, and you understand your first responsibility is for them to have a good time. But for God's sake, if you're going to make bread, you got to put some serious ingredients inside of it.
Of course, yeah.
All right.
Rennie, I do follow you from time to time on online, and I know you're a person who pretty much has his pulse, his fingers on the pulse of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to ask you, what do you think about radio, the changes in radio here in Trinidad and Tobago?
That's the cheapest phone that I have ever had. First of all, the darn thing never works, and then it comes to the radio station to embarrass me. Can you sell that, DG?
Change the phone.
Anyway, go on. Yeah, what do you say, man?
Yeah, I would say I know you have your fingers pretty much on the pulse of Trinidad and Tobago. I know that. I really respect you a lot for that. What do you think about the changes in radio over the years here in TNT?
I'm particularly struck by only one thing. Vernacular is fine. I have no problem with vernacular, but it has its place. And I'm very concerned that while you're trying to craft, an identity is not born of a vernacular. An identity is a culture of a people, which is all parts of it. It does not mean you have to abandon the standard thing you work with. Now, you have air personalities on the radio, and that's fine. I have no problem with air personalities, but don't say you're a broadcaster.
Yeah, it's two different things. Okay.
Yeah, it's night and day. And it is not a criticism. Everybody's going to go into their own direction. I just feel that there is a responsibility in what you say. You see, you can be a DJ and you can say a lot of things, but there is a responsibility in it. And this is not born of now. I used to talk a lot of jive in my time. And in a lot of jive, I would have some students who would pick up on what I say because inside of that, there is something you're saying. And I basically said the same thing I said earlier. Because at the end of the day, a DJ must understand, as long as you have the microphone, and you're not just for parties, you've got to say something inside of there.
Of course, there must be some kind of substance. I remember, of course, you did an interview some time ago, and you were talking about that element of narcissism filtering into young DJs and young radio DJs,
The narcissistic tendency is always going to be there. There is nothing wrong with that. That is youth. And where's your PD? Because this is the reason why he gets paid. That's the reason why we get paid. as a PD myself, I know that you talk to a young man and you say, hey, I like that. How about if you infuse a little bit of that? And we have to ration the passion. We have to kind of put things in order so you understand you can go this far. But quite frankly, you ain't all that. You see, off the microphone, we must tell them you're not all that. But when you get on the microphone, you are all that. How do you marry that is because you help the young man to understand there are walls as to how far he can go and how much he can deliver. Okay.
Yeah. I still remember, of course, someone who was very dear to me told me once, you're only good as your last shift.
Yeah, I'm not too sure I want to say that. You know, I've heard that said. What I do know is if you can leave a shift and not answer yourself the question, did I entertain, did I educate, did I inform? If you cannot answer those questions honestly and feel good about it, you had a bad shift. You had a bad day.
All right, I see foreign base give me the evil eye, which means I know you have to leave in a few minutes time. But I want to get this question in. You know, like,
yeah, go ahead.
We've become so accustomed in Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of radio broadcasters, party DJs, you know, they only seen in the limelight for a while, that kind of thing, and pretty soon they die out. Yet you've managed to recreate, reinvent, you know, and keep relevant all of the time over the years, making a transition, not just from DJ, but moving into talk radio and now in the management side of things. I mean, how have you succeeded when so many other people have failed?
And I understand why you want to be specific about the question, and I can be equally specific and say, just play back what I said just now. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm talking about. To be a part of the fabric, you have to be part of somebody's life. This morning we were on another radio station and I was there to do a radio program just to party. And at one point we said, hey, let's just talk. And the jocks got in there and we just started talking. Because at the end of the day, you were in the business of communication. You have to communicate. And if all you do is like hearing the sound of your voice, if all you do is you want to be cool, you can be cool all you want, brother. You and I start rhyming. I can rhyme for the next 2 years. And you can probably do it too. But that's not what this is about. This is about some of that, some of this, some of that, some of that. How I last is because even the politics of the country, I don't ask people to take a part in it. How could a DJ do a shift and not ever address what's going on with the gun culture? I mean, and you don't have to preach about it. I'm a bishop, I'm supposed to. But you don't have to preach about it. What you have to do is make a comment about it. And make a comment, not a judgment. Make a comment and move. Because that is how you stay with people. Because the one comment you make about gun, about trying to find a fast life, about the immediate gratification, is going to resonate with one person. And if each one teach one, we have done our jobs.